You know, I'm something of a Pikmin myself. Hello, my consumer compatriots. I bring video to thee on this day about Nintendo San Francisco video game store. That's right, everybody. Nintendo's second official store in the United States of America recently opened in the month of May 2025. Golly gee, is that exciting for me. I'm a California resident and San Francisco is within an hour of me, so that's a pretty exciting prospect to have a store within fairly easy reach for me. I've never been to any of the Nintendo stores in Japan or New York because I've never been to those places. So it's really nice to have one closer to home to check it out and see what it is like to go there. So let's go through what happened on this grand venture. I missed out on getting a reservation for the opening weekend, but I did get one for the following weekend, which is Memorial Day weekend, holiday weekend. Headed down there for an 11:30 time slot. They give you like a half hour, slightly restrictive, but it keeps the crowds down, I guess, is the idea. So just getting off the BART station there, and you see a lot of Nintendo signage happening. Even on the San Francisco trolleys, you got Nintendo SF ads, big like billboard type things. So making it known that Nintendo has arrived in this grand city. I waited in line for a bit with some other folks that were there for the store as well, who also had their warp pipe passes, and headed on into the store. Saw many a thing in this store. There's some cool items. It's sort of separated by series. So you have a lot of the Mario stuff on the main floor, as well as just general Nintendo SF branded items. And you got a cool statue of Super Mario Brother himself. And then you also have, I guess, what is now Nintendo's other biggest series, not counting Pokemon, Animal Crossing, also up there. Isabelle, Timmy, and Tommy represented in statue form. Very sick. I was very impressed by the selection of Animal Crossing items. I thought there was some cool stuff, some slippers. Those look rather cozy, don't they? They had the Animal Crossing Lego sets. So quite a lot there. In-universe branded stuff like Dodo Airlines and The Roost. So that was rather neat. Also on that top floor you had Nintendo first-party games, and then you had a screen where you could select different Joy-Con colors, which I think is something that has been in some of the Japan stores. I don't remember if it's in the New York store, it might not be. So that was pretty freaking sweet to see that. And of course we had Nintendo Alarmo available in the store. Wow, who would have thought that we would see the day when Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo would be sold in a brick and mortar store. What a glorious time to be alive. Then you go down the stairs into a sort of basement area, which I really liked. It was quite cozy down there. The design of the store in general is very good. It's mostly white with red accents in that Nintendo red. And then on the windows, you have the artwork of the Nintendo characters walking. The music was quite good. You had all sorts of Nintendo music playing. And then in the checkout line, they play shop music. So they play like the Zelda shop music. Pretty fun to notice that. Then downstairs we have some other series represented, like Splatoon with a statue, and then Link, who looks a little smushed down. Quite a lot of Zelda items. So if you're looking for Zelda stuff, they have that in spades. I really liked the Splatoon selection. They had a lot of cool in-universe gear that you could equip your Inkling with, but available for IRL usage. So then next to the staircase you had the Kirby section, which I did of course peruse. Quite a few Kirby items. A lot of them are the same kind of items that you can find in some other shops in the US. So I've seen some of these items before, some of them I haven't seen. I don't know if I noticed any of them branded as Nintendo store specific items. You got the plush dolls, shirts. There's some cool shirts actually. Then sort of adjacent to the Kirby section was the Pokemon section. You have a nice Pikachu statue, and then quite a lot of Pokemon plushes and other items. This is probably the area I looked at the least, just because I've seen probably the most Pokemon merch out of any of these series. And then they had a big Pikmin selection. Cool Pikmin statues behind glass. I don't know why they were behind glass, but those were pretty damn sick. Across from all that stuff, they had an area where you could play a Nintendo Switch. Pretty wide selection of amiibo. And then they had a big screen. People were playing Mario Kart. I don't know if they have other games you can play, but people were racing. I'm assuming that's where they would potentially screen Nintendo Directs, because I know the New York store screens Nintendo Directs. So presumably, if Nintendo SF is to do that, that's where they will be screened. Yeah, and then that just loops around back to the bottom of the staircase and the Splatoon section. So that was the bulk of the store. The experience was quite nice. Friendly employees. I gotta say, the bags they got, these are pretty freaking sweet bags. You get to check out items. Very sturdy handle. They give you a sticker to close it off. It's nice and secure. Has the big red logo and then the characters. Then we got these pretty freaking cool receipts with Pikmin on them. One detail I forgot to mention is that on the top of the big screen, you got some hidden Pikmin, sort of like they have in Super Nintendo World. So I like seeing those fellas hanging up there. Other things gotten. Look at that, it's a freaking Kirby Post-it notes. And then I got Splatoon stickers. Gonna slap one of these on my laptop or some such. Got some Nintendo World character sticker sheet. So that was the Nintendo store experience itself. However, I did notice that across the street at Union Square, they had a Pikmin Bloom tent. So I went to check that out. And they were giving away free goodie bags in the delightful shade of Pikmin green. And I got a very epic visor, so now I am Pikman. So we have some fun stuff. Pikmin Bloom Mini Walk, Union Square in Bloom 2025. So they had a little like scavenger hunt with hidden Pikmin, and I did find some in a store window, but I got, yes, the brochure. They have Pikmin, what is Pikmin field guide. So they're really pushing the Pikmin brand extremely hard, was probably my biggest takeaway. So this has like, I think a little like one or two like activities, like a word search, and then just like description of the critters. So that's goddamn cool. Pikmin bookmark with one of the Pikmin manga panels. That's sick. We'll be making use of that on my book reading, I suppose. Lastly, and possibly least, we have a Pikmin My Nintendo like voucher for 100 platinum points. Not showing you the back of it because I haven't redeemed it yet. You better not freaking steal it, you goddamn thief. My highly valuable 100 Nintendo platinum points. They're mine, my own. At the back of the tent, they had a cool augmented reality video slash photo booth, I guess. And they told you to dance around for 10 seconds and then strike a pose. And then it would take a picture and a video, and you scanned QR code to download those onto your cell phone. I did that. So then I headed on down back to the BART station. And I gotta say, guys, it was pretty delightful. Presumably in the future, you will be able to get in without a reservation. It would be really fun to catch a Nintendo Direct live. That would be really cool. I've always liked watching the Nintendo New York reactions, so it would be really cool to see that in San Francisco. And yeah, you know, maybe like for one of the Kirby game launches, if they do a Kirby event. I know Kirby himself has shown up in person to some of the Nintendo New York events. It would be pretty freaking sweet to meet the man himself, IRL, at an event such as that. Perhaps they'll do that for Kirby Air Riders. The last thing I want to note is I did bring my 3DS, played that on the BART train so as to accrue Street Pass. And I'm happy to report that I did indeed do that. I got 2 hits on Street Pass. One of them, at least one of them, might have been a Nintendo Store employee because it said hello from Nintendo SF or something to that effect. So that was nice. I was really glad that I was able to get a Street Pass because, man, it's been a freaking long time since I got a 3DS Street Pass. I went on a plane relatively recently, had my 3DS scanning for Street Passes at the airport. Nada, but got some here, so that's pretty cool. There was once a time, a glorious time, where you could go to basically any major city or mall or event center, and you would get 3DS Street Passes. No longer. That's become fewer and far between, which is sad. But at this Nintendo store, today at least, there was some of that. If you have a 3DS, highly recommend taking it down to the Nintendo store in SF if you ever do go. This was my introduction to the store, checking out what it has to offer. For me, the future prospects of maybe going there for some of these bigger events was that's a pretty cool thing. I hope I'm able to do that. It could be a nice place to stop by when I am in the neighborhood. All right then, this has been Pikmin Onion Creature. Thank you for watching video. Hope you enjoyed video. I will see you again soon with more video. Switch 2 is coming up soon. Potentially got some stuff related to that will happen in the future. Golly gee willikers, that's just a few weeks away. Wow!